Well, good evening, everyone, and this is the Power 3 podcast, and I'm your host, Sean Bishop. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everyone tuning in to my show. And today, what we're going to be talking about, or this evening, I should say, what we're going to be talking about, is the final two games that ended the Labor Day weekend. The final top ranked two games that played Sunday night and Monday night to end the Labor Day weekend football frenzy. And on the side of that, after that, we'll be talking about the new top 25 because of the upsets from this Labor Day weekend. So first, let's get it started and let's talk about the game from Sunday. No, Monday. Monday night, or so no, Sunday night. I'm sorry, Sunday night. That was Sunday. Today is Tuesday. Losing my days. Sorry. Please forgive me. So let's talk about Monday's game. Sunday's game. Why do I keep wanting to say Monday? Sunday's game. I'm lost because it's the 4-day weekend. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about excuse me, number 10 Notre Dame going in to play Austin, Texas, who was unranked. Now, this game here, Texas, I said Notre Dame was going to beat Texas. In my review earlier, I had stated that Texas was going to lose to Notre Dame, and as you can see, it didn't happen. Texas got the win over Notre Dame by 3 points. Texas, I got to give it to Texas. Texas came in and played a great game against Notre Dame. Notre Dame did. I said it was going to be difficult for Notre Dame to get a win in Austin because it's hard to beat Texas in Austin. But uh, and they didn't pull it off. They couldn't beat Texas in Austin. Why did I do that? Now I got stuff in my hair. Anyway, sorry about that. But Notre Dame loses to falls to Texas and pretty much is going to knock them out of the top 10, no doubt, because Texas was not ranked. It was a high scoring game. Like I said, it's 50-47. Texas going into overtime. It was overtime, wasn't it? Two overtimes, as a matter of fact. Texas, they went into two overtime. Texas had a true freshman starting. A true freshman. So what does that say to you, Notre Dame? What does that say about your squad? Y'all let a true freshman, come in and get a win over y'all. That speaks volumes for Notre Dame, especially their defense. You let a freshman. Well, they did let their senior quarterback play swoops, but he didn't throw the ball. He threw the ball one time. Swoops threw the ball one time, and for an incompletion. So he didn't do anything in the air. The freshman has 26 attempts for and had 16 balls caught. He threw for 280 yards and threw two touchdowns, and he had one interception. So a true freshman at that. Don't forget about that. True freshman. Notre Dame had Kaiser, who threw 15 for 24, had 215 yards, and had five touchdowns. So I mean, the quarterback did his thing. He definitely did his thing. He threw five touchdowns. That's he did his thing. But the defense, that means the defense wasn't doing their job. Notre Dame's defense, the Fighting Irish, didn't do their job. So with that being said, and then rushing, Foreman had for Texas had 24 carries for 131 yards and one touchdown. Swoops, now he may have not done anything in the air, but on the ground he had 13 attempts for 53 yards and three touchdowns, and he had the game-winning touchdown in overtime from like 5 yards out. So mad shouts out to oh well, let's see what Notre Dame rushing. Notre Dame didn't have anybody rush over 100 yards, and they had one. Kaiser, the quarterback, had a touchdown himself. So they didn't even have a rushing touchdown by any of their running backs. So that's just piss poor for Notre Dame. I just gotta say, Notre Dame, y'all should, with that type of performance, it's hard to even believe y'all was in the top 10. But then again, a lot of people probably saying, well, how can you talk, Sean Bishop? How can you talk, Bishop? Oklahoma did the same thing against University of Houston, but University of Houston was ranked 15. Don't forget that. Texas wasn't ranked at all. So that's the big difference. But that's neither here nor there. Texas comes out with the win, 50-47 in a double overtime over Notre Dame. Moving on to Monday's game, which was number 11, Ole Miss playing number 4, Florida State. Now I watched this game. This game right here was a good game. Ole Miss was up on Notre Dame. I mean, on Notre Dame. I'm still thinking about Notre Dame. Ole Miss was up on Florida State, and Florida State came back. Came back. So I mean, you can't even you gotta give Florida State, they gotta go up because they was ranked 4. Yeah, they was ranked 4. So and then they came back to beat Ole Miss 45-34. Ole Miss was up, what was it? 28-10 at halftime. 28-13 at halftime. 28-13 at halftime. And they didn't score but 6 points. Ole Miss didn't score but 6 points in the entire second half. Whereas Florida State scored 32 points in the second half alone. You just got to give it. Francois, the quarterback for Florida State, an amazing game. An amazing game. That man came to play. The line wasn't blocking for him at first in the beginning in the first half, and you could tell Francois took some hits that he shouldn't have took, and I'm surprised he lasted the entire game. I'm sure he is sore as all get out today because he took some hits, but he steadfast and he stayed in there. He persevered and he made it through. He had 32 completions for 52 attempts and had passed for 419 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And now this was Florida State has the Heisman hopeful Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook had a decent game. He didn't have a great game. He was a lot like Deshaun Watson. He didn't show Heisman potential. He came out, he did a little something. He had 23 carries for 91 yards, but he didn't have any touchdowns, receiving or rushing. He had an opportunity for a receiving touchdown. However, as he's running into about 3 to 4 yards outside of the end zone, he's running in, and all of a sudden, he drops the ball and it falls. He just fumbles the ball out of bounds. No one touched him. Nothing. He could have pretty much walked in the end zone, but I guess he was just trying to change the ball from one hand to the other, and his thigh pad hit the ball. It looks like to me, and he fumbled the ball out of bounds. So Dalvin Cook did not have not one touchdown. Francois had he had 9 rushing attempts for 59 yards, and he didn't have no touchdown. But he had a receiving Wilson, and what was the Wilson had nine catches for 125 yards and no touchdowns as well. But the guy that I want to talk about who was showing out was Kelly, the quarterback for Ole Miss. He did well. Even though he threw 3 interceptions, he had 21 completions for 39 attempts and had 4 touchdowns. He threw for 313 yards, which isn't bad. Even though it is, but it isn't because he did have 3 interceptions. Couple of them, a couple of them interceptions weren't his fault because one tip drills and stuff like that. So that's what he had. But they didn't rush for much. They didn't have nobody even close to rushing for 100 yards. Judd, he had 44 yards rushing, 8 attempts. He had 1 touchdown though, but no one rushed for 100, even close to 100 yards. They did have one guy get 121 yards. Ingram got 120 yards receiving with 9 receptions and 1 touchdown. And the one guy I was talking about was Jefferson. I can't even see who the guy was. I can't even remember who he was. But either way, Florida State comes out and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to go in there and beat Mississippi Ole Miss like they did, and you got to give it to them. They probably moved up on the top 25 list because of the simple fact they were ranked 4. They was behind at halftime, like I said, 28-13, and they came back and won 45-34, and they only let Ole Miss score 6 points in the entire second half. So you got to bump them up from 4 when you put on a performance like that, because obviously the coach, I was about to say Bobby Bowden, but Jimbo Fisher obviously went back there during halftime and was like, look, guys, we ranked 4 in the nation. There's a reason we ranked 4 in the nation. We got to come out here after the halftime and show them why we're ranked 4 in the nation. And that's exactly what they did. And they came out and took care of business and got Mississippi off the field and beat them 45-34. So That ended the top 25 for this weekend. Um, that that game from last night closed out the weekend for the Labor Day weekend college games. So now moving on to week 2, and let's talk about the top 25 now. Um, I'm sure it's going to be definitely some some moves like I spoke about before, and as I look at it, that's exactly what it is. They have moved them around. On the Associated Press, the top 5 is Alabama at number 1, Clemson at number 2, Florida State has moved up to number 3, Ohio State is number 4, and rounding off the top five is the Michigan Wolverines. By the USA Today coaches poll, all of it is the same, except instead of Michigan being number 5, they have Stanford at number 5. Now to go down, continue from 6 to 25 for the AP poll, Associated Press, the Houston Cougars, who beat my beloved Sooners, they went from 15, being ranked 15, to moved all the way up to number 6. Stanford is now number 7 in the AP polls. Washington, with the upset over LSU, puts them at number 8. Georgia moves to number 9. Wisconsin, no, Wisconsin is the ones that beat LSU. I'm sorry. Wisconsin beat LSU and they moved up to number 10. They wasn't even in the top 25. They are up to number 10. Texas over Notre Dame, who, like, Texas wasn't ranked at all either. Notre Dame, who's ranked number 10 now, they basically switched spots because Texas is now ranked number 11. Michigan State is ranked coming out at number 12. Louisville is out at number 13 with that quarterback who put up 6 touchdowns in the first half and didn't even play the second half. My goodness, crazy. I can't wait. And Louisville, what's going to be a good game? Louisville plays U of H, University of Houston, ranked number 6. They play them like third or fourth last game of the season. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a real good game. But continuing with the AP top 25, my beloved Sooners are now ranked number 14. They fell from number 4 down to number 14. They fell 10 spots. TCU is number 15. Ohio comes in at 16. Tennessee with the squeeze out win comes in at 17. Notre Dame with that loss to Texas moves into 18. Ole Miss with that loss moves down to 19. Texas A&M is at 20. LSU Tigers with that loss moves them all the way down to 21. Oklahoma State is 22. Baylor at 23. The Oregon Ducks at 24. And rounding out the top 25 for the AP is the University of Florida, Miami. I'm sorry, University of Miami, Florida Hurricanes. For the coaches poll, I already told you who the top 5 were, ending in Stanford. Coming in at number 6 is the Michigan Wolverines. Coming in at number 7 is the Houston Cougars. Michigan State is at number 8. Georgia's at number 9 in the coaches poll. Iowa's ranked number 10. Washington is at number 11. TCU. Ooh, they got TCU up at number 12. They got Oklahoma a bit one rank higher than in the AP poll. They got them ranked at number 13. Tennessee is ranked at number 14. Louisville is ranked 15. They got Louisville 2 places below the AP poll. Wisconsin, they got them dropped down 6 places from the AP poll from number 10 to number 16. Oklahoma State is at number 17. Ole Miss is at 18. Baylor is at 19. They're up about 5 spots from what the AP poll has them. Texas is at number 20. Notre Dame is at 21. Wow. Isn't that something? In the coaches poll, Texas beat Notre Dame. Texas wasn't even in the running. Wasn't even in the top 25, and they only won, and they beat Notre Dame. And in the coaches poll, they're only 1 rank higher than Notre Dame. Go figure. Tells you what the coaches think. Anyway, moving on. Notre Dame number 21 in the coaches poll. LSU at number 22. Oregon is at number 23. Texas A&M is at number 24. And rounding out the coaches poll is Florida Gators ranked at number 25. So they don't even have Miami, University of Miami, the U, in the top 25. The coaches poll don't. So With that being said, that's where they are. With the way the Associated Press, and that's mainly the one everybody looks at, the AP poll, excuse me, the way it looks to me, it looks pretty decent. There's nothing really to argue about. The way Alabama blew out USC, USC, as you saw, is not in nobody's. They're not even in the AP poll or in the coaches poll. They're not in the top 25 at all. And losing, even though USC was ranked, they're not even ranked now playing for that poor showing that they had against Alabama. That was just ridiculous. They didn't even show up. 6 points in the whole entire game, really. Come on. And you're ranked. You got to play better than that. Clemson, um, at number two, like I said, I'm surprised at Clemson being number two. I would expect Clemson to fall because they barely squeaked out of Auburn with that 3 win. That what was it? 3 point win, I believe, 2 or 3 point win against Auburn. But I felt like Florida State probably should have been, if any changes, Florida State probably should have been above Clemson because Florida State had a better margin of win and they came from behind. So that's just my take on it. And as far as everyone else, everybody else seems pretty much where they need to be. I don't feel like in the AP poll, I don't think they got it wrong anywhere. It looks about right for the most part. I would have to agree. I don't. In regards to the rounding out the top 25, the University of Miami and of Miami, Florida, the U and Florida Gators. I don't know. They got one. The AP got the Hurricanes and the coaches got the Gators. So it's like wow. Like I don't know. Um, I gotta see. Let's look back because I were they in the top 25 last week? Let's go back and let's see because I don't even know if they were in the top 25 last week. No, they weren't. Matter of fact, I don't. No, I don't think they were. As a matter of fact, I'm almost sure. Wait, no, none of them were they? No, because I don't remember talking about any one of them. No, so none of them were in the top 25. So yeah, Miami nor the Florida Gators. So let's go back and let's look at what exactly um what the what who they actually played because I don't know. Let me see. Uh, let's see. Let me get to it. I'm trying to find where they played at. See. Let me see. Hmm. Yeah, I don't see it. For whatever reason, my hold on. See, let's do it like this. What in the world? Let's see who Miami played. Miami. What in the world? I don't know what's going on with my computer, but it's not telling me what I need to see. It's not showing me what I need to see. Um. Okay. It's neither here nor there. Either way, they're in the top. Well, Florida is in the top 25, and like, and I said in the coaches poll, in the University of Miami, Florida is 25 in the AP poll. So obviously they must have won this weekend. They did what they needed to do to get in the top 25. I just don't know how they uh, uh, chose which Florida team made it in the top 25. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But that's neither here nor there. They're both one has them and one has the other, so it is what it is. Oh no, the Florida Gators, they beat UMass. Florida was already in the top 25. They was 25 already. They beat UMass. I do remember that. That's right. They beat them 24-7. That's right. Florida was in the top 25 already. So it was Florida. It was the U who wasn't in the top 25. I'm assuming because I remember seeing them, and Florida was in the top 25. So that's that. So moving on. got a little time left, so let's talk about some other things. I'm taking any questions or any whatever y'all want to do. Tell me something that y'all might um want me to answer, or ask me a question that y'all may think I may have the answer to. Whatever. I'm just shooting from the hip right now and trying to find out what it is. Oh, let's talk about NFL real quick. Even though it's not really time for me to talk about the NFL yet, I'm gonna talk about that later on in the week. But let's just talk about one thing. What do y'all think about the Dallas Cowboys signing Mark Sanchez? Now, I knew Mark Sanchez was going over to Dallas to try out. I really didn't know they was gonna sign him that fast. Um, and I guess he's the backup to Dak Prescott. And not like I said before, I don't have nothing against Mark Sanchez. I think he's a decent quarterback. Um, I don't know if he's a starter in the NFL or anything like that, but he did well for Philadelphia when Nick Foles went down that year. So he did pretty decent. I can't say that he didn't. Um, but I really didn't think they would sign Mark Sanchez. I knew he was going over there, but I didn't know they was gonna sign him that easy, that quickly. But I guess so. And Jared Goff, they say he's gonna be inactive for the Rams opener. Really? Paid that man all that money, the number one pick, and he's not even gonna start. Wow. Oh, and the Eagles, we traded Eric Rowe, DB, to the Patriots for an offensive lineman who I also heard we're trying to ship him out for another player as well. We don't need to get rid of defensive players. We need defensive players. That's part of our weakness in Philly. Now, don't as well as offensive line. Our offensive line has been suspect as all get out too. But we need both of them. We really do. We really need both of them. Quarterback, quarterback, DBs and offensive linemen. So uh I don't know. We got it. Well, hopefully, it's gonna be a good trade for whatever it is. Hopefully, it's a good trade. We got that trade. We already made the trade for Sam Bradford going to the Minnesota Vikings for a first round. I think it's a first round pick in 2017 draft, and then a fourth round pick in 2018. So that's what we got for Bradford when we sent him over to Minnesota. But I don't know. I'm ready for the season to start. Y'all know it's the repeat of the Super Bowl on Thursday, kicking off the NFL season with the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. You know Cam Newton, he wants some redemption. He wants some payback. I'm sure he wants some payback after that performance he had in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Cam, I'm sure he's looking to make some noise out there on the gridiron come Thursday. I'm sure Carolina's gonna win, but I'll talk about that later. Like I said, when it comes closer to probably tomorrow, actually, probably talk about that tomorrow. I may talk about it Thursday because the game is Thursday evening. I may talk about it Thursday during the day before the game kicks off. Um, but yeah, that should be a real good game. That should be a real good game. Um, and then, of course, all the rest of the teams play on Sunday outside of two other games that are coming on Monday night. So, for all of y'all NFL fans like myself, football, NFL football, pro football is upon us. It has reached us. We're only 48 hours away from it. Less than 48 hours. I'm sorry. Less than 48 hours away from the National Football League kickoff. So, let's go. I'm ready. I'm so ready right now. Love me some football. I can't wait for football to start. It's crazy. I am so ready for some football. Um, so yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Just in case I don't know if I showed y'all. Let me show y'all just in case the new AP uh AP poll for oops, there you go. Associated Press and the USA Today coaches poll. There it is. The top 20. Well, what is it showing you? The top 17 all the way to Tennessee and the AP, Oklahoma State for the coaches poll, and then let me go and move down. And there go the top 25, ending the top 25. Florida Gators, and like I said, the University of Miami Hurricanes for the AP. So, yeah. So that's that. That was that. So again, I thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. There's no need to keep it moving. I don't have anyone hitting me up with any questions in regards to what I was saying about the the top 25 or anything like that. So being I don't have any questions, nobody has any comments, nothing to say, I'm gonna go ahead and end this podcast real quick. Again, this is your boy Sean Bishop from the Power 3 podcast. I thank y'all for watching. Have a great night. I catch up with y'all. Peace. I'm out.